Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time of the day you are watching this broadcast, this is Dr. Drtangumonkem with iemapproach, where we inspire, equip, and motivate people to discover God's great potential in them, develop that potential, and deploy it. I want to take this moment to welcome you heartily for joining us today on this broadcast. The purpose of having this series of conversations is just to encourage you to know you've come this far, and it's just the beginning of the journey. It's still a lot ahead of you, and I don't want you to let down your guard. I don't want you to get distracted. I want you to stay focused. I want you to achieve your dreams, your aspirations. I want you to be able to fulfill whatever prompted you, the desire that prompted you to move from your country of origin to where you are right now. It is a very big sacrifice to change countries. It takes a lot to do that. I don't know your reason for moving. What is important right now is that you moved. Maybe you were fleeing persecution, you were fleeing from a war-torn country. It's important for us to have this conversation. As you're going to find out, the subject of my presentation today is something that has affected you, and that is why you are here. It's very important that we talk about it so that you'll be able to position yourself to make this country a better place, to make it a more perfect union, so that it's going to prevent you from fleeing again because things didn't work out for you. Each day before I get into my presentation, I like to digress a little bit, talk about something that I think is not only going to benefit immigrants, but benefit any body who cares to listen. Before we get into our sidetrack today, please do me a favor. There is a lot that you can do to help me out. It takes time, energy, and resources to do what I'm doing. And you may be wondering, how can I be of help to this cause? How can I help what I'm doing here? Now, there are three ways that you can help me out. The first is for you to share this content, share this broadcast, invite other people to join us. The second thing you can do is for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm asking that you do that for me. Use some of your social capital to subscribe to my channel. The more people subscribe, the more the channel is going to become popular, and the more this message is going to get to people. Help me out in doing that. The last thing you can also do is to get a copy of this book, out of which I have been speaking for the past 46 days. Today is day 47. The book is, the title, as you can see here, is Welcome to America, 52 Proven Strategies that will position you to excel as an immigrant. I know some people get turned off when they hear motivational speakers or people are talking about success and winning big in life. Don't get turned off. If you are an immigrant, if you've moved to the United States of America, if you're here right now, or you moved to the UK or Germany or Spain or Mexico or Brazil or New Zealand, Australia, Thailand, China, you name it. If you've moved from one place to the other because you want to better your life, I think you're already seeking for success. You want to do well. And all what I'm trying to do here is to come alongside with you and give you some tools that will help you to do well. I wish when I came here almost 20 years ago, there was a manual like what I'm having here, a roadmap like what I've put together that would have guided me to focus on the areas that if I develop those areas, they were going to make me to be successful. Nobody is going to take away the success from you. The only person that can stop you is you. And that is something that you need to understand. If you want to help me out, get not just one copy of this book, get copies for other people. We have a lot of immigrants in the country that need this information. Help us to spread the news. If you're going to get more than one copy, huge discounts are available and we can talk about it. The number to get hold of me is 214-908-3963, 214-908-3963. Or if you rather send an email, the email is eternalkingdom101@gmail.com, eternalkingdom101@gmail.com. And for those of you who may be cash strapped and you're having difficulties, you can't afford the book, it's possible to read it for free on Kindle as well. Together, we can make a difference. We have a country ahead of us to build. And I am inviting you to join me. I need your support. If you can do those three things for me, share, like, subscribe, and get the resources, I will be very appreciative. Thank you very much for doing that. My little sidetrack today for you is that you need to understand the power of believing lies and how much that can prevent you from growing and from reaching your full potential. There is a lot of lies that we don't even know they are lies because we've heard them so much that it has become a reality for us and it has conditioned our lives to the point where the fruit of our lives is reflecting those lies that we are believing. It's not intentional. Unfortunately, the habits that you build and your belief system is going to give you the results that your life is producing right now. And that is why it's very important to operate following the truth and not lies. I mean, some of the lies that are very prevalent when it comes to us taking care of our health is the fact that some people believe they cannot eat certain types of foods, they cannot exercise, they cannot stay away from drinking certain types of drinks. The truth is that it's possible to change. It's possible for you to recondition your mind and change those bad habits that are destroying your health right now. Because without good health, you are going to suffer. Your dreams will suffer. Your job will suffer. Your relationships will suffer. Your finances will suffer. It's a lie to think that you can neglect your health and nothing is going to happen, that you can just eat, drink anyhow, and just live like that, and you're not going to have consequences. It's a big lie. It's time for you to wake up and realize that what goes into your mouth has a direct impact on the outcome of your health, of your relationship, your finance, you name it. So it's important for you to understand that. That is the truth. That is why for the past couple of days, I've been talking about this book, 30 Days of Raw Food. It's an excellent resource put together by my wife. And I can testify that the message in the book is a very practical one. We live by it, we've experienced it, and we want you as well to benefit from resetting your metabolism, from taking back your health, because when you take back your health, you will be able to have what it takes to pursue all the other dreams that you have. You've come this far, and what you eat should not undermine the dream that you have. We are going to be talking today about a subject that I know some people may dismiss it and say, oh, why do you have to worry? Oh, we don't talk about politics. We don't talk about religion. Keep those things to yourself. Unfortunately, you migrated because the government in the country that you were born in failed you. If the government was well functioning, if everything was delivering what you needed, you would not have moved in the first place. If you had everything you wanted where you were born, you would not be here. We would not be having this conversation. And that is why talking about participating in voting, participating in the political process becomes very, very crucial. You must educate yourself about these matters. And not only that, you participate actively. While some say, let's not talk politics, unfortunately, politics, elections have dire consequences. Have you sat down to take stock of the sacrifices you've made to be where you are right now, what you had to leave behind because the political process failed you? If you don't get involved in the political process in the US, what is going to happen is that the system itself is going to fail again, and you're going to go back to the drawing board. We don't want that to happen. That is why, according to Theodore Hesburgh, he says that voting is a civic sacrament. Voting is a civic sacrament. In other words, it's something that is very, very important, and everybody needs to participate in it. President Franklin D. Roosevelt says that nobody will ever deprive the American people of the right to vote except the American people themselves. And the only way they could do this is by not voting. Don't believe those who are saying, oh, they're trying to prevent you from voting, voting disenfranchisement. You have to get a voters registered to vote and get involved in the voting process. The only person that can deprive you from voting is you when you don't go to the polls to vote. Now, let's talk about the importance of voting, the importance of participating in the political process. It's very, very important. I find it very ironic that people keep saying, oh, don't talk about politics yet. The amount of taxes we pay, the laws that are governing us, the size of government, and a lot of things about our lives are actually influenced by politics. So why shouldn't we talk about something as important as this? The future of your children, the future of the country is dependent upon who is in power, who is passing laws. Don't be fooled. Politics and elections have a lot of consequences. And that is why every citizen must rise up and participate. You may be coming from a country where elections were held, yet rigged, and your vote did not matter because those in power always look for a way to manipulate the vote and stay in power. I come from a country whose president took over in 1982, and I was, 6 years old then, in 1982, and the guy is still the president. He wins all elections. That is not possible. It doesn't make sense. And before you think that is really abnormal, that a guy should be the president for almost, it's going to be 40 years soon. You don't have to look far. In the United States, we have that happening also. There are senators that have been there for 30 plus years. There are congressmen and women who have also been there for a very long time. Are we trying to say that in all these districts and states these people are coming from, we don't have any other better candidates? Or do people just get complacent and don't have the time to do their homework and due diligence and vote in and vote out representatives? And that is why we cannot allow the status quo to continue. You and as an immigrant, you are being called upon to step up and get involved in the process. Your vote will count when you actually not only vote, but do your homework before you vote. You're not only being called to participate in voting, you're being called also to run for office if you have that inclination too. By the way, before we go too far into our talk for today, remember, voting is only for those who are US citizens. You might have migrated, you are having a green card, you are not yet ripe to vote. If you vote, it's a felony. Please don't vote. Wait for your turn to vote. Wait for your turn to do it right. We have to hold each other accountable to do it right. And if we lose faith in our electoral process, it's very unfortunate what is going to happen. We need to make sure the voting process is having integrity so we can depend on it and we can trust the outcome. And I also want you to remember that don't take voting for granted. I know most of us get too busy, we're working hard, and we really don't put in the time and the energy or the effort to understand what is actually happening and participate in voting. You should. In the past, in the country, not everybody had the right to vote. People had to fight hard. The African Americans fought hard to get the right to vote. The women fought hard to get the right to vote in this country. And don't take that for granted that you can vote. Honor their sacrifices. Honor what they did to achieve this for you by making sure that you participate in the voting process. In the United States, we have two main political parties. Please, don't let the names of these parties misguide you. Both parties are democratic. Both parties believe in democracy. The difference between them is how we should go about this democratic process. We have a lot of divisions these days, and that is why I've already said learn American history. We'll be talking about learning the Constitution tomorrow, and make sure you understand the past so that you can understand the present and the future. And don't let anybody worth their salt dare tell you that as an immigrant, you are expected to vote in a particular way. I think that is one of the most insulting things that I've come across. It's very condescending, and people have tried to do that to me. I'm just calling them out. You stop it. Immigrants are not supposed to vote in a particular way. I don't know where the idea came from. I don't know why people have to think like that. How dare you How dare you think that because somebody is an immigrant, they can make up their mind about the issues. Things have to be shoved down their throats for them to just behave in a sheepish manner and not think and reflect about why they have to cast their vote in a particular manner. I ran from a country, or I left a country where the government controls 80% of the economy. And I'm very aware of the dangers of big government, the dangers of mismanagement and corruption and cronyism, you name it. And why should I be in the United States and I don't raise the alarm? Please watch out. Watch out. It always starts with good intentions. But the bigger the government, the more rights, civil liberties you need to give up. And the corruption, mismanagement is going to grow. And in the long run, we are going to suffer because of that. Don't let the names of the parties mislead you. Just because the party says, oh, a Democratic Party, doesn't mean the other Republicans are not also a Democratic. You need to look at what the parties stand for, what the candidates stand for, and that is why the voter guide during the elections, you should look at what each candidate stands for. We have every 2 years, the Congress, those who go to the House of Congress are voted, and every 6 years, the senators are voted in. In addition to these elections, we also have local elections at the level of the city and the level of the state. Usually, the most popular election is the presidential election, but that is not the most important one. You need to participate in all the elections that are taking place, because if you want your voice to be heard, if you want to be represented, you need to go to the ballot box and vote your convictions and vote that which you want for you, your children, and for the future of the country. If you don't vote, other people are going to make the decisions, and you're not going to escape, because whatever laws that are passed, you're going to live under them. Whatever taxes that are enacted, you're going to pay them. Whatever restrictions that are passed, you are going to live by them. It becomes very important for you to get involved in the process so that what your children have been taught in school, you are aware of it. Please, the future of this country is dependent upon your vote. Get involved. Oh, don't say, oh, politics is a dirty game, politicians lie, yada, yada, yada. That is not enough. If you don't vote, other people are going to vote in their candidates. And those candidates are going to determine your future. You don't want that. You want to get involved in the process. You've come this far, don't just focus on, oh, I'm going to work as hard as possible, make as much money as possible, and bail out of the system. The system will collapse around you if we don't have the right people in charge. You have a unique opportunity to get involved in the voting process. Don't only rely on sound bites. The media is very notorious. I mean, media generally are focusing on emotional things that will drive up their poll numbers and viewership and all that. If you really want to get educated and know what is happening, start with the history, proper history, a balanced look at what has happened, and make sure you read about the different candidates, different parties, where they stand, and make up your own mind. Get out of group think. As I've said, it's very insulting when somebody says, oh, you are an immigrant coming from Africa, you're supposed to vote for this political party. What in the world is that? How? Don't allow your ethnicity to be used to be the only criteria for you to vote for any political party or for any candidate. You need to think through and think through thoroughly. Don't allow yourself to be forced by your friends or those surrounding you to just toe the line and vote because you want to fit in. Elections have consequences. When you elect people in power, they're going to pass laws, they're going to appoint Supreme Court judges. I mean, there's just a lot. The country is governed like that. And elections are an integral part of us maintaining the democratic system that we have, government for the people, by the people, and of the people. And for you to participate, you have to make sure you stop being afraid of politics, get educated about the issues, and vote with conviction, and vote with the future in mind. Don't just focus on what you want today, think long term. I want to thank you so much for listening. Remember, you can help me out by sharing this, subscribing to my channel, liking the presentation, and getting this resources and encouraging other people to do same. God bless you. You've been listening to Dr. Eric Drtangumonkem with iemapproach, where we inspire, equip, and motivate people to discover God's great potential in them, develop that potential, and deploy it. Until next time, God bless you.